I want there to be more of an emotional journey in my poem than there is in A Visit from St. Nicholas. The narrator doesn't seem changed by his encounter, and I think you would be. I think it could change everything. I've called my poem The Night Before Christmas. What else? 'Twas the night before Christmas. The pavements were slush. The giggling of children had faded to hush. The thrill of tomorrow now outdone by sleep. They wandered a wonderland, tangled in sheets. The turkey was soaking. The presents were bowed and stacked round the tree. The final log glowed. But in spite of my fire, the downstairs felt cold, and sitting in silence, I began to feel old. I remembered the joy from when I was a kid, how the magic was sprinkled in all that we did on the best of all days, when we woke up to see Father Christmas had been, and he'd left some for me. Oh, how I remembered the glee and the warmth, the safety of family, the presents at dawn. Now the pressure I felt to get everything right weighed heavy on me on that drear winter's night. It seemed silly, just crazy that he might arrive and glug down the milk that we'd left on the side. The damp chill of adulthood set in my bone, so I drank Santa's milk and went upstairs alone. But as I was fumbling around the dark, a whoosh from the sky made the neighbour's dog bark, then a scream of a fox and a thwack on my bin, and a muffle of curses rang out like a hymn. So I rushed to the window and pulled back the net on a sight so astounding I'll never forget it. But there, in the yard, with the spades and the rakes, with the hiss of a steam train releasing its brakes, was a sleigh, stacked with brown sacks, just sitting there, and the glint of ink eyes, and the breath in the air of 12 reindeer, so large and so noble and near, that I trembled with something that wasn't quite fair. Then a thud from downstairs, and our cat's mighty wail, as if someone quite heavy had trodden her tail. So I tore down the staircase, 3 steps at a trot, charged into the front room and screeched to a stop. Now I'm a big fella, but there by the door was someone who made me feel tiny once more. Father Christmas, as I'd known him as a child. The boots and the belly, he winked then he smiled, and I knew that although he was my Father Christmas, if you had seen him, then he might have been different. He waggled his finger and stifled a laugh when I glimpsed in the mirror my milky moustache. Then he put down his sack and crossed over to me. He smelt of the outside, the cold and the trees, put his hand on my arm as a parent might do. Then deep in my mind's eye millennia flew. The room filled with sound, my vision was splintered. I saw all he'd ever been, spirit of winter. The holly and mistletoe hung in a cave to ward off the bleakness of dark fleeting days. The Bacchus-like rosy-cheeked spirit of feast, Diet Moroz, who roams Russian skies in the east. Befana, St. Nick, Sinterklaas, Chimney John. The hope of survival, the promise of fun. And like that he was gone. So I ran to the door. Outside the snow fell as I watched the sleigh soar off to wrap up the planet with ribbons of light. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.